friends, welcome to my channel. I'm your creator of fun and whimsy and the occasional chaos, Heather. Today I have a WIP chat for you on the glamping piece that I've been working on that I mentioned from my Temu haul. And I did mention also that I would be gifting it to my mother-in-law. So if you'd like to grab a choice of snack or beverage, and feel free to join along with a project of your choice while we chit chat here, and hopefully we can have some fun. Just give me a minute and I'll switch my camera view and we'll be able to dive right in. Okay, before I get into this, I have a few disclaimers, reminders. You may or may not on the video hear background noise. Like I've said before in my prior videos, small apartment, noise carries. So if that bothers you, I apologize completely. Just bear with me. Also, if you're interested in this particular kit and doing it, canvas is LH328. And also, like I said, if you are new to diamond painting like myself, I've only been doing this like 2-3 years. I do my own thing when it comes to diamond painting. Sometimes I'll go and I'll mask off my canvas with washi tape. Sometimes I don't. It just all depends. I do what's comfortable for me. There's no right or wrong way to do things. Okay, so barring any more interruptions, I had to go and take care of my ferrets. I was afraid they were gonna wake up my daughter. Well, the youngest ferret was gonna wake up my daughter because for some reason, well, not some reason, but I think our oldest ferret could sleep through a bomb. Because she's sleeping peacefully in her hammock and the youngest ferret was banging on the cage. So I had to basically, the last part of the video, because you'll see I've pretty much gotten almost all this pinkish color here, this 604, I've pretty much gotten most of it down in the area I was working. And I had to, I had to basically delete and start all over again with that section that I had just recorded, because there was no way that I could get the constant banging that Allie was doing on the cage. There was too much of it over top of me chatting, talking, explaining what I was doing. Getting into the backstory about the whole glamping thing and my mother-in-law. So I just started over again. Thank you, little Allie. I mean, she's young. She knows what she's doing, but I don't know if it's possible to teach a ferret impulse control, because I think she's just spoiled. Because she knows anytime she does that, mommy's running to the cage. Like, oh, what's the matter? What do you need? And usually it's just, she just wants to be a little cuddle bug at the wrong times. When you're busy doing dishes, trying to get her water. But hey, I don't know where I would be without them. I honestly don't know what I did before I had a ferret, let alone 2 ferrets. Because they keep me hopping, that's for sure. If the fact of having a kid doesn't keep you hopping, the fact of having 2 very intelligent ferrets, that keeps you hopping too. So I don't even know how to start or get back into the groove about explaining about this painting, how I feel it represents my mother-in-law. But I'm going to try. I'm going to give a college try. Trying to explain. Oh well, I have this little brushy thing. I'll get that before I go and seal it. I definitely, if I'm giving it for a gift, I'm not gonna have some little piece of nonsense in there. So, I don't know, I guess I'll try to start from the top on that. When my husband and I were first together, at first I thought it was just his mother that had this role. Here it was the whole family that had this role for him. Mind you, my husband is 12 years younger than I am. He's 36, I'm 48. Yeah, I know, usually women don't tell their age, but I'm at the point in my life, I'm 48, but a lot of people say I do not look 48. So like I was saying, like my mother-in-law, you know, she would fit in really, really well at a hippie commune, possibly an Amish community. Except I think my mother-in-law might like modern electricity and whatnot. I don't want to say a little bit too much, but you know, that's just something that obviously discussing with glamping, when I found out more about what it is, you'd understand. Like, my mother-in-law likes to can. She likes to sew. She's a crafter like myself. She likes to cook. You know, I don't know if it would be considered like an old soul type person. That's where she's at. Like, my mother-in-law, just to get an idea of her personality, she has a sense of humor. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it varies. It varies with the family member. But she's really into, maybe into is not the correct thought, however. Two of her favorite animals kind of basically, at least to me, express what her personality is like. She loves pink flamingos. She also loves peacocks. So, she's kind of like a closet type flashy person. Like I could see I've seen, because every year her and my sister-in-law will go to Atlantic City. And, they don't go there to gamble, they just go there for the beach and just to, you know, get away kind of thing. And the one picture that was sent the first year we were house sitting for them, because my sister-in-law had just gotten a cat. I believe it was a therapy pet for her daughter, because her daughter was having some issues and needed help coping, like that was suggested as a coping mechanism by her therapist. But I was sent, my husband was sent, but he showed me a picture of his mom on the boardwalk in these really loud pants. I mean loud. It was something that I just wouldn't expect. Like, I wouldn't expect somebody to be wearing, like, other than maybe lounge pants in the house. But they were very bright, very flashy. And if I also let you in on what a couple of the television shows that, other than the cooking programs that my mother-in-law watches, you'd understand also that she's a closet, flashy personality type person. She likes to watch any type of programs that have to deal with drag. And I apologize if this offended anyone. She likes to watch shows like RuPaul's Drag Race, things that have to deal with like drag queens. Like, she's even suggested that I check into drag queen bingo that they have at different fire halls around here and other venues, because she's interested in participating. She's like, I like bingo, I can play bingo. She says, I just think those men, women, however you want to categorize. My daughter's not awake now to explain the proper terminology to her mother, who's old school and backwards, apparently, from what I'm told. But, I mean, I don't mean to be offensive to anyone, but she just likes their style, likes drag queen style. Like, these certain drag queens that are on the different episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race. She's like, they're just, she says, however they identify, if they identify as a male or a female, she says, they just have a certain sense of style and a certain sense of confidence that she's like, I just wish, she's like, I could publicly have. She says, but just, and I understand, because in our time period, the way that we were raised, so I completely understand, like, the being seen and not heard, and not drawing attention to yourself, being a larger woman, and my mother-in-law is also a larger woman. So it's like being that way your whole life, so I can understand. But that's just the type of personality that she has. When we were talking about these about glamping, and like I was thinking that this was something that was wholeheartedly made up, my sister-in-law had showed me on, I can't remember if she Googled it, found one of the places that they may or may not have had bookmarked on their phones for places to go and actually go to explore for a possible vacation. But she showed me, and like showed me pictures, and I got to find out exactly what glamping was, at least a brief description of it, which the brief description, it's basically a step above like roughing it camping. You have modern running water, indoor plumbing. You don't sleep on a cot or on like a tent mat. If you choose like the option of sleeping in a tent or a yurt, they have actual mattresses, so you're kind of like the luxury of being comfortable. Some places were describing that, like, I've never done this before. I mean, it does sound interesting, but some places, did not sleep very well. Some places describe, we have hotel-style mattresses in our cabinet, like, in our tiny homes, in our tree houses, in, like, their Airstreams. And my mother-in-law's like, she's like, I wouldn't mind going glamping in the Airstream. So, as soon as I saw this piece on Temu, I believe I was at work, and I found this piece. And yeah, it was late at night, but I was scrolling through Temu, and it just screamed at me. I was like, that is what I could see my mother-in-law, if she were to actually go and get the opportunity to go glamping. I could see her in a pink Airstream with the little, with the flower, the tire flower, I really honestly can't say you call them flower pots, but, or flower beds at that point, but you've seen it. Potentially, some of you all might have seen the flowers that people plant in old tires. It kind of gives it like your campsite or your mobile home or whatever, or even your home, like home if you have like a country style type home. Kind of like that shabby chic kind of look to it. Like some people, even in cities, I mean, might not be big cities, but in like rural areas, in front of their house, they sometimes like the 50s or 60s. I mean, yeah, some people still do it today, but they would spray paint their old tires or a farm tractor tire. They would paint them white. Some people would like somehow tear them open. I mean, maybe that's not a good description, but they cut slits in the sidewall of the farm tractor tire and roll them back, and you would use that as like a raised style flower bed, like shrubbery type thing. Like I said, I don't know if it's still popular. I know some people still do that. You know, sure, if that's like a thing to do now. Maybe it's just a thing to do potentially with these glamping sites. I don't honestly know, but I think it'd be interesting to check out to see how that goes. But I just envisioned like my mother-in-law. The only thing that, and I'm not sure how well it's rendering on the camera, because I don't have a big setup for my camera. Like I can't really zoom in. I use one of my older Android phones in order to film my videos, so they may or may not be the best quality. But like I said, I'm just starting out with my as my daughter says to be a smarty, Mom's YouTube empire. I said I don't think I'm gonna get big like that or anything like that. I mean, I may not even have like a monetized channel. I enjoy crafting, and I would actually like to share it with other people. Share the things that I've done, the things that I can create. Try new things. Like I said, I've never done a whip and chat before, so I figured, hey, you know, I've done crafting videos where I show how I'm making something. It can't possibly be that much more difficult. I mean, it is. I don't know, for me it kind of is. Because when I'm chatting while I'm crafting something, I mean, yeah, same type concept, but I'm chatting on what I'm doing. The difference to me is with this is trying to explain to you why I chose this piece for a certain person. At least that's what I'm trying to get across, explain as I trip over my words. Be as nervous. I never really was really good at public speaking. Granted, I'm sitting currently in my own home, speaking to possibly random people. I mean, that's the goal. About things I enjoy doing. An activity that I think I'm good. I think I'm pretty good at. I mean, maybe not the best, like I said. I've only been doing this for 2-3 years. But I do enjoy it. I mean, it's quite relaxing. Sometimes my husband says that I take too long. I mean, not take too long, but because it is depending on some of the pieces that I choose to create and paint. It is time consuming. I'll understand you that. I'll give you that, however, I should say. I just can't. Like my husband and daughter, which I would understand for a teenager, binge watching things. I mean, yeah, okay, I am guilty of that also. Binge watching certain shows. And, like if I was not filming this currently, I probably would be sitting here diamond painting, and I would have my tablet sitting in front of me, And I'd be sitting there watching, like, different crime shows. Like, anywhere from, like, true crime shows, like, different cold case files. And this is gonna sound, I don't know, morbid maybe, but, like, different things about, like, serial killer. Like, and then I do watch certain dramas. Like, just certain series. I like watching, like, Fire Country, Ghosts, right now. And, like, it's only certain stuff. Like, I don't know, my husband likes watching, like, zombie stuff. And I'm not, like, he'll watch, like, zombie horror movies and that, but he's, like, into watching things like The Walking Dead. This one he's watching is Z Nation or something. Kind of some of the older stuff. But, like, some of the series that I've been getting into, like, catching bits and pieces, are, like, the series and stuff that were remade. Like, I watch Walker. Like, I used to when I was a kid with my grams. I'd sit and watch Walker, Texas Ranger. Well, I don't know, it's new to me, so I'm going to probably sound like a dweeb. But it's with Jared, I'm probably going to say it wrong, his last name wrong too. Jared Gerdacki. He was Sam in Supernatural. And he plays on, like I said, this new series. Basically, it's a remake of the old Walker, Texas Ranger. And I really like the show. Like, I mean, yeah, granted, he's not no Chuck Norris, but I do enjoy the show. So sometimes I'll sit and I'll binge watch it, and my husband actually gets into the show, that same show. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Gerdacki. I'm thinking of a hockey player. It's Paldecki, I do believe. I do, like, I watch it, like, I'll watch it, and I have to watch, though, when I'm watching it. Because if my husband hasn't gotten to that current episode, like, it's fine for him to binge watch past episodes of shows that we're supposed to be watching together. If he binge watches past an episode I haven't seen, I don't get mad. I just go back and I watch the episode. And my husband, he'll go and he'll get a little upset. He's like, I thought we were watching that together. I'm like, well, because he does. I mean, he does appreciate when I sit down and I'll watch a show with him. Because, like I said, he does enjoy watching certain series, but I tried to sit down and I tried to watch, like, when he was watching The Walking Dead and all the different offshoots of the brand. I just couldn't. Like, it wasn't that it grossed me out or anything. I would start getting into the show. I mean, that's just like this Z Nation that he's currently watching. Now, if I really wanted to, I could go back and start at the beginning and start watching it. But as far along as he is in the show, to me it's not really worth it, and it's not really one of those, like when he goes past in Walker or something, in the certain, in the series and that, if he goes past an episode I haven't watched, I can usually make out in the next episode or so that he's watching, I can figure out what has happened, and I don't have to go back and watch. I mean, I will because I enjoy the show, but I don't have to, right away go back and watch. But for me, like, when he was watching The Walking Dead, I had to do that. Like, and it just got so redundant. Not the show, but me having to go back and rewatch the show to catch up to where he was, because we were working different shifts. And, it was like I was working nights and he was working daylights to evening. So he would watch the show, while I was sleeping, or, while I was at work, if it was like a night off that he had. So I would just lose track of and not be able to figure out. I knew who the characters were, but when they popped up with a new character or a new plot twist, I was like, no. Sorry, can't figure it out, can't. I mean, I probably could figure it out, but like, I'm not getting into this because I'm missing out on key plots. And I think it was more like an aspect of time with those style shows. Like, I don't want to give my time to that in order to catch up to where he was at that aspect in time. You guys are probably wondering, oh, I mean, who knows? You may do the same thing. I can't for the life of me sometimes, because my hands are, like I've stated before too, probably, or I know I have at some point in time. I have issues with my hands from the 20-some years in healthcare that I've done. 20-some plus, but I've been, like, how I started in healthcare is I was a certified EMT. I almost forgot what color it was. I'm babbling here. I'm not really babbling, but I had a senior moment, apparently. Okay, so I've got a show. Like I said, I used to work in an ambulance, pre-hospital care. We did a lot of medical transports. The first company I worked for, we did one of the local boroughs. We did like 911 service for them. So you do a lot of carrying people out of their homes, taking them into their homes with different types of equipment. Yeah, when I would, you do lift with your legs, you lift with your shoulders and what and such, but you also it's a lot of strain on your wrists. I've never been formally diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome or things such as that, but I probably have some carpal tunnel in my wrists. I try to baby them, take care of them. That's kind of also another one of the reasons why I use the thicker pens. Not only am I heavy-handed and destroy pens, have to glue them and tape them till the new ones come in, but, well, actually I have to order the new ones first. Oops. Forgot a step in that. But I would bend from my heavy-handedness, bend the littler pens. This is just, I think the word I'm looking for is ergonomic. I think it's a made-up word I just made up, because I can't think of what the actual word is, but the feel in your hand is a little bit better with the pens, with thicker pens when you have deficits in your wrists and, But anywho, like, there's a lot of lifting, pulling, stress on your wrists and hands. So, with my 20-some years in healthcare, I've done some damage to my body. But anyways, my husband understands, like, the wrist issues and that kind of thing. I completely blew off topic. Hey, but we're still diamond painting here. I might actually get this one finished today. Which normally a piece like this, because I can't remember exactly where topic I was, but usually a piece like this, 30 by 30, depending on how many hours, which I might have mentioned that also, that I'm working on it, it usually takes me 2 to 3 days. I've actually done, I think it may have been a 20 by 30 in a day, because I just enjoyed the piece so much. I could not put it down. It was very, I know I have it on my Facebook page, specifically, because there's a lot of pieces that I've done that I really do enjoy, and have enjoyed completing, because it's one of those, like, I like the ones that do not really look that defined or generated rendering. sometimes, like, I am surprised too when I'm diamond painting and I finish a piece and I'm like, wow, that's more detailed than I expected. Which, either remember my haul or would like to go back to that haul video, you can see some of the pieces that I say I'm not sure how they're going to turn out, because honestly I'm not sure how they're going to turn out, because face value, the rendering of the picture on the canvas may or may not do that piece justice. It just, because it's not as defined as one would think it would be. But like, I like when I'm doing a piece and it's like, boom, that really turned out well. But yeah, I do believe that my mother-in-law will enjoy this. I don't say it's going to be, it will be a surprise. Because my mother-in-law is used to, like I said, she likes the peacocks. She likes flamingos. She likes, she has an eclectic kind of, yeah, that was the word I was trying to look for earlier. I couldn't think of it. She has an eclectic kind of style to her. But there's an artist named, a musician named Jimmy Buffett. That's kind of how I see my mother-in-law's style, like flip-floppy kind of style. Just the bright, wild colors like that. And she appreciates handmade gifts, because it's not because me and my husband are cheap or anything like that. But she appreciates more the handmade gifts, because she knows what it takes to create something. She knows what the heart, the caring, compassion, all those good feelings that come behind wanting to actually create something for someone that you know down in your heart that they're gonna like and appreciate and cherish. But where I was going with that also is, I normally, and this is why I think she's going to be surprised with this one, normally most of the gifts that I've given her or made for her, like last year, I believe for her birthday, it was a combo type birthday. We hadn't seen her for her birthday. No, we hadn't seen her for Mother's Day. I apologize. So, but we did see her for her birthday at my brother-in-law's. So I had her birthday gift that I made, and I also had her Mother's Day gift. Now, I can't quote for sure which I made for which, but through my store, I make with the little tumbling blocks from like the Dollar Tree, or I've even seen them through like Temu and AliExpress. You can get them in bulk. I make wishing wells during like the spring and summer. I make mini ones that, well, I can show you one that's on the craft table. I make these. These are they have a citronella candle in them, and I make these, like I said, during the spring and summer months. And then I have larger ones. You know, they each one of them have a different theme to them. I have some that I make that are farm, and like unique fairy style ones. Just whatever comes to mind. And I don't want to say I throw them together, but I put them together. Now, the smaller ones, like the citronella ones, I just use like I said, I use the tumbling blocks from Dollar Tree. Or I can get them from Temu, AliExpress. You know, and this, you know, when you're running your own business and starting out, you look for the places that you get the most bang for your buck. So, you know, that's why they're random different places I get them. I made her, I believe it was a flower pot one. And those ones, like, for, and it's not for a while, but at certain Dollar Trees you go to, they will have, with their tumbling blocks, it's one block's already painted for you with the brown that are like these fountains. I mean, wishing wells, sorry, fountains, wishing wells. Throw a quarter, make a wish. They have that, and then they have the natural wood. So what I would do is I would split up the boxes of the blocks between the natural wood and the ones that were already pre-painted. So the ones that were already pre-painted, I would use for the citronella candles, and then I would, it just made it a lot easier and a lot quicker to make them. But for the larger ones and their theme, I would paint and still do paint each and every one of the blocks for the ones that are just the plain non-painted style blocks, the natural one. And that would go along with the theme. Well, for my mother-in-law, I made one that was I called it like the gnome version of Margaritaville, and I'm not sure if I can find the picture of it on my business page. I'll link it. But there was the gnome that went with it. I forget if he was meditating or just had like a floral shirt. I thought he was like either, in my brain, I envisioned him as either a retired beach person gnome, or a hippie gnome. So, like I said, I made this for my mother-in-law. It's kind of like Jimmy Buffett, Margarita style. It's a Hawaiian shirt on. I decorated it with like weird tropical flowers and bright, bold colors. I believe I used a lot of, like my mother-in-law likes the color yellows and oranges and peaches, just for it to be fun. I even found like a little figurine that was a little flamingo, and I stuck it with it, and there was like a figurine of like flip-flops I also included within it. And then the insert, of course, it was a terracotta pot, which I painted the rim part that like sticks out. I painted it, decorated it for the flower kit that I included in it. I believe it was like tropical flowers or summer festive mix or whatever. But that was one of her gifts that year for, like I said, either Mother's Day or her birthday. And then also the additional, which it was my first year of making them. You can get like a Dollar Tree globe that they use for making Christmas ornaments, but you can also use them for making like water globes. I went and got one first time I tried to make a snow water globe, which did turn out amazingly enough very nice. My mother-in-law appreciated it. I did like a beachy scene with that. It had a flamingo in the middle. I had like a little crafting jar. I'm not sure exactly where I might have gotten it. It probably was Dollar Tree or something to that effect. But I got that. I had gotten it, and I made my own little, I don't want to say dead man's chest, but kind of looked like pirate shippy little bottles with, I had like little bubble resin pieces. And I was going to do something else with them, like maybe I saw it on Pinterest. You'd make yourself a gnome and put it in one of their plastic tubs, and then you had bubbles around it. Well, it might have been one of those things where really paying attention to size. So when I did the Temu order, I ended up getting the wrong size, and they were just itty bitty bubbles. I mean, they were these diamond rounds were bigger than the bubbles that I was trying to put in these bottles. And I myself thought that, oh, well, yeah, you can do a gnome. Yeah, you can do a full-size gnome and make one of these. Yeah, no. So I found other crafting avenues to use those for. But yeah, you will see, that's another one when my mind tracked off. I do use my spacer straightener. I do use that in my drill tray in order to get things ready for using my multi-placer. And you'll also notice that I'm going to probably design like a Lazy Susan style tray if they don't already have one out to stick my diamond paintings on, because I don't keep my diamond painting in a certain direction. Usually I'll have it angled because I use my diamond painting pen as a, like, almost like my pencil, kind of. You know, I hold it like I'm holding a pencil. I'm right-handed, and in grade school when they were teaching us penmanship, which apparently they don't teach the children now, they always said slant your paper. So that is what Heather does. Heather just is in the habit of slanting her paper. Paper, canvas, to me it's interchangeable. I even sometimes, like, if I sketch when I'm sketching, I mean, I don't do that very often, but if I do get in the mood where I feel like, because I'm so out of practice on sketching and drawing little things that, you know, I don't really do it, because I'm like, I used to be such a good person to draw things, and it's not for lack of trying, it's just, I guess, the fact and lack and just running out of time to just sit down and relax and draw something out and be happy with it the first time I'm sketching it out. Not the case anymore. That was a train that done passed. This, I think, is turning out very nicely. I even angle my diamond painting tray. I don't know what it is. It's just, but when I, like, angle it and even out straight, I'll still angle my brush too. Well, not brush, but my pen, in order to do the piece. I don't know. I guess it's just what I've adapted, or, like, there's no, I don't know. People might tell you that that's not the correct way to do it. Well, I've never formally taken a diamond painting class. I don't know if they're offered. They probably are. I was the same way with when I did counted cross stitch when I was younger. My mom actually got me into doing counted cross stitch with the DM floss. And when she got me into that, she says to me, she goes, Heather, you're doing that all wrong. Like, what are you talking about? I'm doing it all wrong. She said to me, she goes, you're not supposed to do it that way. I said, I'm achieving the same goal and that you are, Mom. I'm getting my piece done. It's neat. It is going and turning out like the graph, the chart of where all the colors are supposed to go, and she's like, no, that's not the technique you're supposed to use. I don't know. I can't be that type of person. Like, it's not that new things scare me. It's just I try the new things, and then I find my own niche. Like, I've watched this YouTube where this lady, she's really good. I guess she's been diamond painting a long time. I believe her name's the principal diamond painter. remembering off the top of my head what state she may or may not be from. But she does like how-tos. She was talking about using mica powder to go in, like if you use round drills. As you can see, there's a space in between them. And she was in one of her tutorial videos, she was stating that she uses mica powder, like if the drills are like turn out lighter than like some of the like peachy or like yellow type drills. Sometimes they wash out with a white background, and some people don't prefer that, so they will shoot, I missed it black, but they will go and use mica powder and use it like a blush and then wipe it off, so it brings the color and it fills before they go and completely finish the product. But the way I'm understanding it goes, and then it fills like the gaps and just make sure your project more finished. I myself, that kind of like scares me to death, because I would be afraid, okay, it's a new technique, and if in that aspect that would be something that I would have to do exactly as it was shown, and I would be so afraid that I would screw it up, and then the piece that I worked on and took all this time, that I would destroy it, and then I wouldn't mind having to do it again. I mean, it'd be probably like a little bit of a hassle, but if I enjoyed doing that piece, I wouldn't have a problem doing it over again. My problem with it would be if I would have to do it over again because I screwed up the technique, or there was no way to reverse the technique, or I didn't understand like how to fix it if I screwed it up, that I wouldn't be able to replace the piece, because I do predominantly buy my pieces from Temu and AliExpress. If it's an item that ends up being sold out, what do? I mean, then you're kind of like up the creek without a paddle with a piece that you so enjoyed creating and loved it from the minute that you decided to purchase it. Alrighty then, as you can hear, my husband's home. Just got home. So, barring any more interruptions, confusion, to finish this, it's a little bit that I had left. And thankfully, so far, my ADHD squirrel has not completely went off track. Got a little bit derailed a little bit from all the interruptions. What was I saying? Okay, I was talking about the lady that I watch, also to get some tips and hints and whatnot. She was doing the mica treatments, I guess you would call it, mica technique, on one of her paintings. I believe she showed a Taylor Swift painting that she did that on. Thankfully, I can honestly say I am not a Swiftie, so I would not have been disappointed. I mean, I'd have felt bad for her had that technique not been successful for her, but I would not have been disappointed had her, and it's going to sound horrible, had her Taylor Swift canvas not turned out how she wanted it to. Like I said, I'm not a Swiftie. But I don't think I would try something like that, because I would, like I said, I would be afraid that, or I should say, I would not be, compelled is the wrong word. Yay, tiredness is hitting me. That just wouldn't be something I would do. Like, that's not my style. Like, I wouldn't do something like that. I mean, I would probably try it, and if I did try it, I would get, like, probably a secondary canvas of the one that I was trying. I don't know, I guess I'm in general, I'm a very nervous person. Sometimes I don't seem like that, but when I'm trying something new, I'm very nervous that I'm not going to be perfect, not going to get it right the first time, not figure it out. Like, I do in my personal business, I do fairy gardens. And I was so, like, actually, I started out wreaths, different type of wreaths. My first type of wreath that I started out with doing was grapevine. They're grapevine wreaths. The wooden style wreaths that they're more wood, like they're nature type style wreaths. I believe they are called grapevine wreaths because that's what they're made out of. I started doing that with my business. Then I transitioned into the deco mesh, but it took me a long time. I guess just what I mean by long time, not a long time to actually get onto them, but to actually have the, like my anxiety wasn't up so high that, oh, if I try this, maybe this isn't going to work. I don't know, maybe some days on certain things, I have the mentality being that, I'm going to produce something, I'm going to sell this thing, whatnot, that I get scared that if it doesn't turn out, like my anxiety gets high. Like somebody's gonna say, ew, like that's really ugly, I mean, some people are ugly style people like that and just will bash you, harass you if it's something that's not perfect. Or, I mean, I've come to that in my life. I guess that might be partially, and I hate to say it because it's a word, nowadays it's a word shame type thing, but fat girl kind of, not crutch is the word I'm looking for. Trying not to sound it out as crush, but I think that's it. It's like like I said before, I'm a big girl, and I did get picked. I picked on and bullied a lot in school for my size. I mean, I'm not, but I always was the taller girl, the larger girl in school, and that's still like I've lost. I've lost. I think at my highest weight I was 330. 340, something like that, somewhere around there, when I was working as a EMT on an ambulance. Not real. I mean, yeah, I was active, but I wasn't as active as I should have been, and not always eating completely properly while you're in an ambulance. But I think I still have that in my head because I have lost at least 100, like over 100 pounds or more, because I'm down to into the 250 range, so. At least 100 pounds, I do believe. So I'm kind of like, I still have that like negative self-image, that's the word I was looking for too, of I can't do this right, I feel this isn't going to be right. If I try something new, somebody's going to put me down for it. So it kind of it does make me nervous too, putting myself out like this, doing YouTube videos, but I figure if I'm going to succeed with what I would like to do, which is showcase and show different style of crafts that I like to do, different creative ideas. I mean, I initially thought it was more for trying to promote my small business, but it's turned out to helping me with self-confidence, which, yeah, I've only done a few videos. You don't want to know how many times I've done and redone these videos because I don't think they're good enough. I mean, this one you'll see it's all kinds of janky clicks, but you'll see and you'll hear all kinds of different, I try to stay on topic when I had to stop and start, but you can see in the video it's kind of shaky. I mean, the finished product. I'm not trying to make it kind of shaky, but it probably will be kind of shaky because just when I had to stop and start and readjust my camera. But hey, it's all in the learning process is the way I look at it. And I was a little bit tired earlier when I started the video. But I was like, I really want to, because I kept putting it off. I really wanted to get the video out and get this project, those that were interested, this project shown in somewhat completion. Like I said, I still have to / am waiting for the washi tape for this project that I found on Temu. But I'm kind of worried about ordering right now. I'm trying to keep up with what's going on with people's orders. Like, are they getting them on time? Are they getting stuck in customs with all this new stuff that's going down with the tariffs? How much is it going to really cost me in the end? If it's too ridiculous, then I'll have to find another avenue and hopefully can find a similar style that would go with this painting, so I can completely finish it to my liking, so I can give it as a gift to my mother. But that's neither here nor there. we'll hit that when the time comes with that. So, like it was saying, also I was starting to say about the square drills. Also that's another thing that kind of, I don't know, that kind of intimidates me a little bit. I like the way, I like how you don't have the spacing issues that you do with the round, but I also don't like or I should say, what intimidates me about that is the factor that, what if I don't have them completely straight? What if they don't go completely straight? The whole pop arty looking finish of some of the fantasy pieces that I've seen, and I don't really care for that. I don't know, it's just it's just weird stuff that pops into my head when I diamond paint with, oh, well, I like that picture, but like when I choose things, it's just like, it makes me nervous. Things just make me nervous. Like I said, I'm just a nervous person. Like, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to, like, people take me their own way, and I feel bad because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want anybody to get offended on things that I do, things that I say. Like, sometimes I do have the attitude of, this is me, take it or leave it, but when I'm doing something to try to be professional and try to be, get a following, or, get a following, I don't want to offend anybody, back anybody away. Like, this is what I enjoy. This to me is relaxing. Me going to craft shows, before I go to craft shows and stuff like that for my business, things here in the house get very, very tense. Like, I think I am cussing people out and following people out like no tomorrow, because I just want everything to be perfect, run smooth, be organized. And I know, logically, you can't do everything, but I try to do everything. Try to do things that are perfect. I even get on my daughter big time. I'm like, get out of my way. She's standing here right now mocking me, but like, I'm like, get out of my way. But like, my family, it's really weird. They are oddly supportive of my craziness. Sometimes they don't understand my craziness, but they're oddly supportive of me continuing the craziness that comes with craft shows, comes with starting a YouTube channel, starting and updating my Facebook page to get people that are interested in the products that I'm producing. It's just amazing. Like, it is. To me, it's amazing, because I've had people before in my life that aren't that supportive, but weirdly, like I said, weirdly and oddly enough, my family is very supportive. Maybe not like, the family I married into is very supportive. My family that I came from is somewhat supportive on their own terms, I should say. And they don't always agree with what I've decided. Like I stated earlier, I'm almost 50 years old. I have a little faith. I think I know what I'm doing. Maybe possible. If not, first you don't succeed. Either try again or find a new avenue. But this is what works for me. This does actually help with some of my anxiety. Not all of it. Because I still am a nervous Nelly. A nervous Nelly that wants like everyone to like me, and not be treated as like the village idiot, the village fool. But I know it's negative self-talk, and that's just how I feel sometimes. And like I said, I'm not the fastest diamond painter either. And I'm always spinning my stuff, like spinning my canvas. And I think also I'm getting a little, even though I'm not, face to face or in like a diamond painting group doing diamond paintings together or whatever right now, with somebody beside me painting alongside me, it's basically me, my husband's home, my daughter's home, and I'm in my crafting area. And like I've said before, we live in a small apartment. I still get nervous. I keep thinking that my neighbors hear me downstairs and think I'm like some weirdo talking to myself. Whatever. And then I get the attitude of, whatever, let them think what they think. Maybe I am the weirdo in the apartment that just talks to herself on YouTube and sits and diamond paints and does craft how-tos, which I will have one coming up for Valentine's Day. Not sure how soon that will be up, but I do plan on doing one for Valentine's Day. Maybe one or two. Maybe start a whip and chat on, maybe a better whip and chat than this, without maybe the ADH squirrel getting off track. But, or probably in my case, it's not a squirrel, it's a ferret. But I'm just me, I guess. I never change me, but why would I? Why would I bother? I mean, I think I'm a good person, nice person. I'm trying to salvage this video with my ADH squirrel ferret. I guess it could be worse though. I could have an ADH Tasmanian devil and everything will be all over the crafting table. When, although if you would see me when I get ready for a craft show, it's about that. It's about that mode. Everything's everywhere. Everywhere, like I said, I'm screaming, hollering at people. Get out of my way. I know what I'm doing. I know they're only trying to help, but I got a specific way of doing stuff, which is no rhyme or reason to it, but it gets done. Nonetheless, it gets done. A lot of complaining, a lot of arguing, but it gets done. I don't know how you all feel about, I mean, you can always leave something in the comments, but how you feel about I was actually looking into, because sometimes I have a hard time seeing, and I was looking into possibly getting a light pad, but to me that's kind of a little, I don't want to say scary, but it's a little daunting to me, because I have like the fear, like, I don't know how sturdy they are, and so it's like I showed you what I did to one of my resin pens. I'd be afraid to diamond paint on top of that and busting it. So if anybody can tell me how they feel about those, you know, what do you think? What you think, what you feel, you know, if it'd be a good investment or just keep painting the way I'm going. I don't know. Trial and error, I guess. Looks like I got all the pink in the area that it was, but I did see some parts that I missed of certain colors. I seen you. I know you're here. And as you can tell, I'm slightly goofy. I just am who I am. I'm unique. I'm goofy. I'm crafty. And then I think I'm gonna move on to these U's. It looks like there's a lot of those. Like I know some people when they diamond paint, they go down through their keys, God table. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Usually what I do is I start with, like this has a lot of color blocking in the white. Well, I go and I usually do what has like the most color blocking. I'll start with that color first, just to bang it out, get it out the way. That way, depending on how it is, it'll frame my piece. Whereas some people, like I said, they just go down and they look for a color, just like some people go and they'll block off. I actually saw a woman, and I don't know how she did it without getting her hand stuck in the adhesive. She's like, she didn't like the film on it at all. So she just legitimately pulled off all the film and just started diamond painting. I was like, oh my. She didn't even put it down any kind of release paper, nothing. I'm like, you go, girl, because that is not me. Like, I have to be specific on everything. Yeah, not me. I have to be, as my family will say, I'm OCD too. Along with my ADHD. I can't get it. I'll just do it that way. There you go. And you'll see too, I don't, like, I've seen people too, they'll go and they'll change their wax in their pens after every time they change a color. Not right, me. I change my wax when it doesn't have any more stick. Like, I change my wax before, like, I will change it in my pens before I start a new project, no matter how long it's been in there. Just so majority of the time I don't have to change my wax in between what I'm doing, depending on the size of the canvas. But like I said, I don't change unless it's stick. The stick's gone. And I do use the waxes that come with the kits. And sometimes even with your pens too. Like I said, with the pen kit that I had gotten from, I do believe it was Amazon or AliExpress, because it wasn't any of my Temu order. But I go and I'll use the wax from that. And like I said, the pink wax that comes with the different kits. I've seen people or heard of people use like the tacky sticky stuff that poster boards up with. I don't know about that. I mean, so I was saying about the regular wax, pink, red, blue wax that I use. I've also seen people use like putty. I don't know if that is always for specific diamond painting pens, or if you can use them in all kinds of diamond painting pens. I'm not really familiar. Like, I've been trying to look up on the topic and trying to find, like, I have been watching certain videos where people do, like, go over different tools. Like I said, I've only been doing this 2-3 years, and just see how they do things. There are certain, like I said too, there are certain people that use like that blue tack from like Staples, or I don't know, maybe you can get it in the craft store too, but I just know you can get it at Staples, and usually people use it for hanging like poster board and stuff. Like and I'd really honestly be afraid that it would ruin my pen. I don't know, I might try it in like one of the cheapies that come with the kits, just to see how long it lasts in a pen, or how easy it is to take it in and out of a pen before I would actually use it on one of my good or favorite resin pens. I mean, I guess same. I kind of feel the same way, I guess, about that as I do about doing square drills. It's the fear of the unknown. Like, this could happen, that could happen, and it could just turn into a regular show. Just all bad. I guess that's like as a perfectionist, not wanting to do things over again. I mean, I do try certain techniques on my own that they were using what they call a tic-tac method to make their diamond painting line straighter. I don't know, I guess maybe because I use round drills, it doesn't work that well. But the only way that I found to keep my lines straighter or straight is to do them as straight as I can, and then go back to them with the straightener separator hickey that I have. Because, I don't know, maybe I'm not a person that can diamond paint straight, but I don't know, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. It all, I guess, with the time of practice. Yeah, like I said, I'm still gonna try to invent like that lazy Susan thing, if they don't have it, for diamond painting, because like you see, I'm the type of person, as long as if the canvas is small enough, it's a little harder and trickier with the bigger ones to just move it so I can keep angling what I'm painting, poking, sticking, however you want to put it. It looks like we're almost coming to the end. This one, like I said, I'm not a fast diamond painter whatsoever. I don't know, hopefully this just doesn't, and I don't know, it probably should have been a two-parter. I apologize for that. I just wasn't sure how long this was going to take. Smaller section, smaller area, I thought it wasn't going to take as ridiculously long. I give props to y'all that hung it out to the end of this video. Like I said, it's kind of long and kind of janky with the stops and starts. Hopefully it'll improve, hopefully. Like I said, this is just my first couple videos, and the first time I've ever done a whip and chat other than chatting about things that I've created and trying to explain how to do them if you'd like to do them on your own. Sounds like my husband's making tea or coffee or something. He's running water for something. Like I said, small apartment, noise carries, especially when everything's in one general area. And like, my craft area is not even like a room. It's just like a hall. I don't say hallway because you'll think it's itty bitty, but just an area between our front door and our, I guess it would be considered a foyer area. It's enough just to put a crafting desk and some of my craft things in. But it'll do for me for a while. My husband and I are looking for possibly either a rent to own or just a larger place to rent, so that I could potentially get my own rooms or my own area in order to craft and do my YouTube channel, conduct my work at home business a little bit quieter, like have an office. But I mean, I do have like a makeshift office space here, but I figure as my company will be growing, I would like to actually have an area where I don't have to, oh, well, this person has to use this, so I've got to uproot myself and everything else. And then it's a little bit quieter and less interruptions. But it will happen, I know it will. Like I said, my husband, oddly enough, is very supportive of what I do. If he didn't work so damn much, oh, sorry, pardon me. If he didn't work so darn much, he'd probably be doing more of the craft shows with me and helping produce items as he was before. My husband's craft type hobby that he's good at, well, he's good at a lot of things. He wood burns items. He was wood burning coasters for a while for our business. People seemed to like him, and then he was adding not with actual, I mean, yeah, I guess they are actual watercolors, but they're the watercolor markers. He was adding a little bit of color to them with old Celtic symbols. And it, I mean, it wasn't weird Celtic symbols or anything like that. It was the Celtic symbols for animals. Like there was a stag, he did a stag, he did some antlers, stuff like that. I guess I'm not good at this. Getting this somewhat straight, but my spacer helps me do what I need to do. And I've also seen people that like to have their colors on multiple trays. Can't do that. Not as clumsy as I am. I would be knocking all those trays into each other, and it'd just be a bad scene. I mean, all in all, I think that's a great idea. Not for my clumsiness. Not even how some people will have, who also do 3D printing, will have it like you have the tray here. Oops, sorry, you have the tray here. You've got your drills here. You've got the tray that you slide in and out there. I can't do it. I would have a mess on my hands in no time at all. As much as I like, sometimes when I lose the feeling in my fingers and I drop my pens, whether it's not even anywhere near my trays, I'm messing up my line of drills. So no, that's another thing. Sorry, not doing it. I mean, although I have an idea how I might do it, or it might not affect anything, but I'm still not sure if that's work or that would work. I might try it, trial and error. That's probably what I need for now. Oops, I drilled it myself. See, I'm not sure what I want to do. I just, I'll figure I'll do the single V's before I do the V's that I can multi-place. That might speed up the process a little bit. I mean, granted, I'm probably using a larger multi-placer would probably sped it up nicely, but neat. I've actually tried like more than a 5. I'm comfortable enough with a 5-placer, at least with this size canvas. I have used in the past a 6-placer for larger canvases. I did a unicorn for my mother, and I'm pretty sure that I used a 6-placer because there was a lot of black in it, and like the maximum, I don't want to say maximum, but the longest column of diamonds that I needed to place, or at least I thought I needed to, I did need to place them, but some of them were more than 6, but average, the rows were 6 across, so I just went and I used a 6-placer just to do color, just for the color blocking, and the ones that, like I said, were about 6 diamonds. My mom enjoyed it. I had it framed for her, and as far as I know, I think she has it hanging on the wall. But her and my stepdad at their house, I say a couple months ago, they had a couple broken pipes, and they ended up having a flooded bathroom. So my mom had to take that diamond painting, I do believe she said, down, because they had to actually rip out a wall because like the water just, they weren't home. The water just got up into the wall, and it was just bad. And I guess, well, my stepdad does cuss, but he doesn't cuss as ridiculously bad as you would think. My mom said he was saying a few choice words. She wasn't quite sure because my stepdad's family is Italian. So my mom thinks either he was making up some words or was swearing in Italian about it. She says, I'm not quite sure. She's like, I just stayed out the way, Heather. She says, because his face was beet red, and yeah, no. It's like, okay, I get you. I'm like, when my husband goes beet red, we just run, because we know it ain't gonna be pretty. No semblance of pretty on that one. He's just gonna blow his tippy top. Oh shoot, I missed a T. I could have left that one drill out. Son of a gun. Well. Sure. Oh, there's some more. Come here, my little friends. Okay, don't come here. They're just sticking in the rows. I probably should have wiped this up with alcohol before I started this one, but I was in a rush to get this all done. Man, I really do like this picture. And I do think my mother-in-law will like this. I was telling my husband that I need to actually make a Temu order so it gets here. And then I was afraid to because of everything that's going on with, I probably babbled about this earlier, the tariffs and I was just like afraid to order and it not come. So I made some more. I go up to Michael's and check out what kind of washi tape they have there. If they have something similar to what I was looking for. Yeah, that's why I was like, I also too was asking about that comment about the light pad, because I do have a hard time sometimes differentiating certain of the keys, the key numbers and the key symbols. Like this one's all alphabet, so we're good. You know, alpha, there's like no numbers, but it's just all alpha. Sometimes with some of the symbols I have a hard time differentiating, which makes it a little difficult for me to see. So I just wondered if, like, I feel like a light pad would be beneficial. I'm just afraid that I will destroy it like the first time that I use it, due to the fact of me pushing down so heavy on the canvas, so heavy-handed with a pen. Yeah, I use these little ones here not only to unkit my projects, but I use them like if I miss a drill or two, I'll just stick it in there, and so I won't have to go and take the drills out that I already have set for the main color that I'm working with. Especially in really heavily, I believe they call it confettied areas. Try to get them together. Well, I don't know. I get impressed with the people that can just shake them and they go straight into the drill rolls that they're supposed to. Not this chick. They're like, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going where you want to put me. Maybe it's just best that I learn. Do a few lines at a time, which is what I will do at this point. I don't know what y'all think. I mean, we have Valentine's Day coming up this week. I have a few ideas. If I mentioned, I have a DIY coming at some point in time for Valentine's Day. Kind of brings me back to my roots of crafting, because honestly, the first crafting project I did was an actual like Valentine's Day wreath. It was a double like grapevine wreath, and it had, I want to say they were little wrens or something on them. That was some roses. It was just really simple, and that's when I realized and found out that I really did like crafting. I wasn't too fond of certain things in crafting, like, I mean, I sew now, but really I don't like sewing that much when I first started. I think it's because and this is probably where I get it too, my anxiety issues. My grandmother, well, my mama, she's since passed. Her sister was using, her oldest sister was using the sewing machine and sewed her finger. And ever since my mama told me that story, it doesn't make me anxious to sew, but at first it did. Like when I was younger and I was sewing, it made me very anxious because she told me the whole graphic thing. Like, my Aunt Margaret was sewing, and I don't even know what she was sewing, but it was either my great grandma was trying to teach her or something. And Graham said she went right straight through her finger. And they ended up having to take her, of course I had to take her to the hospital. And she says, that's why I'm very cautious when I teach you to sew. And like, I've been wanting to, like, my daughter wants to learn to use the sewing machine. And I'm just kind of, I guess, overly cautious also about that too. I mean, they didn't use sewing machines in school. They just were hand stitching and home ec, but I just don't want to make that ER trip when the big old sewing needle goes through your finger and just making that. No, I don't even want to visualize it or think about it. Just that makes my skin crawl. Or like, I've never sewn my finger. Like when I've hand stitched stuff, I've like stabbed myself a few times from being dumb and not using the thimble when I needed to. It gives me anxiety. The teaching just gives me anxiety. And I mean, it's not like for that, at least it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I've been doing that. I've been sewing since I was 5 years old. So it's not like it scares me or anything. It takes me off when I can't see the needle. I have to go and use like a threader to thread the needle of my sewing machine because I can't see the little needle because it's either not enough light or I just can't see it. And then when I finally do see it, I start having issues with my hands, and it's like, come on, people, can somebody give me a break? So far, the only thing that I usually don't have problems with my hands is when I'm like crafting with a glue gun, and yeah, I usually don't have problems like gripping onto stuff. I mean, yeah, there's been a couple of things like I've tried, like I've done a few fairy gardens, which I don't know if I went in on that. I do, like I make fairy gardens. That was another thing that I was an anxious craft. I thought they were really nice, really beautiful. But I had I guess, yeah, I could say study. I kind of had to like study the videos and get less anxious about actually doing the fairy gardens before I even started. And I was like, oh, I'm going to sell them. I'm going to actually make something and make a profit out of it. Which then that made me more anxious. But I've made quite a few and I've sold quite a few. So that makes me kind of happy. Some of my larger fairy gardens I would actually like to sell. I mean, I still have them. I would kind of wish they would have went first. I'm sure there's someone out there that wants them. Yeah, I kind of went a little extra when I made them, so I can understand. They're kind of large. I only have a few more of you to please. Get in here. Yeah, but like I said, I'm planning on having a few crafting, well, a DIY crafting video, and possibly, I'm not sure if it's going to be, if I'd like to try a live chat for Valentine's Day, or just do a small, short whip and chat, definitely shorter than this one, because like I said, I didn't expect it to be this long, and I truly do apologize about that. I was thinking maybe an hour. Not as long as this one is. But we only have, by the looks of it, 2, maybe 3 more colors. And we'll be done. Well, maybe more than that. But there's not a ton of color on a positive. So, moving along. So, we got a single here. Single there. Single everywhere. Jumping little jalapeno peppers. Oh, I'll be announcing also certain venues I'll be at starting in, I think it's April, for my business. So anybody up in Western PA is interested, I can link information to it, or you can check out my business page, whichever is easier, quicker, preferred method. Like I said, this actually, my business started as a hobby. So my hobby is now my business. It's kind of weird, I guess. Not sure what to really think about that. But I guess that all comes to doing what you enjoy. I mean, I don't mind my 9-to-5 job. I should say actually both of my 9-to-5 jobs. For the most part, I've just recently become a stay-at-home mom. I do still work as a traveling CNA. I pretty much pick up enough hours to go and support my crafting addiction. My husband he's a mechanic. He's training to become a manager. Again, I guess first you don't succeed, try again. Into another avenue. He was training as a manager for our local subway until an incident happened with our daughter, and my husband and I both felt that it was best for him to look for new avenues, I should say, for employment. Can't really get into much right now about it, except we have a hearing at the end of the month. That's all I can really say that has to deal with that. And by the looks of it, we are done with the A's. Woohoo! Like I said, moving straight right along. Okay, we have S's here. And also, I'm kind of curious too. There's some people that I heard or have watched. They do the diamond painting kits that have embellishments, different, like you can swap out different beads. That I'm kind of curious about, but I don't know if I'm artistic enough to do something like that. Like I don't know if that would be difficult to do, or I mean, initially probably just to go and do the kits. The actual kits would probably be the same, but then like how hard is it to understand what you're swapping out, what you're not swapping out? Is it just your personal preference? Do they suggest specific drills, specific colors, like, that's what I'm curious about. Like, is it a specific number? Is it, oh, well, you pick in this color family? That stuff, that modification kind of, it intrigues me. It's like a curiosity, and I kind of want to do it, but I kind of, in the same aspect too, don't want to screw it up. I mean, I know on certain stuff I say, there's, you know, my attitude philosophy is, it doesn't matter, you know, like they say about Reese's cups. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. Well, I may say that, but when it comes down to something that I'm going to have or sell, or, you know, hopefully somebody will cherish that I make, I'm kind of scared. That's where the scared part comes in. Okay. Got some O color here. Oh no, here's some blue. I just flick some on my canvas. Yeah. Yep, sounds like somebody in there has an itch. Sounds like my husband fell asleep. I guess he worked hard today. I don't know, I was in the house all day trying to keep warm. I was just amazed he ate dinner. I mean, granted, we were just having some macaroni and cheese and hot dogs because I didn't really feel like cooking today. Pretty much I just didn't feel like cooking what we had in the fridge today. I was like, it's either this or I said it's either leftovers or hot dogs. Your choice. Like, whatever. I really wasn't hungry anyways. I wasn't gonna complain if he'd have said leftovers. I'm like, ooh, okay. Which, our daughter hates grab and go nights. She doesn't like leftovers. Half the time she doesn't like it when I first make it. That is her. That is teenagers, apparently. I try not to remember how I was as a teenager, because I probably was horrible like that too. I mean, maybe not with what was for dinner, just probably horrible in general with wanting to do stuff. And I know I went to the mall a lot with my friends when I was a teenager. My kid didn't want to leave the house. Nope, Mom, I'll just sit on my computer. Cool. Let me know what's going on in computer land, kiddo, because who knows? I just want y'all to see what it looks like when it's completed. Like I said, I was hoping it's just gonna be one video, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be this long. I mean, I enjoy diamond painting. I could probably sit and diamond paint all day. In fact, when I had COVID, one of the 4 times that I've had COVID, I didn't even know I had it. But then at work we get random COVID testing, and they're like, Heather, do you have any symptoms? No. Not at all. I said, I'm feeling a little tired. I said, but it might be because of other reasons, but I wasn't thinking it was because I had COVID. I said my iron might be a little bit low. I mean, that was where I was going with that. Not COVID, but I pretty much, though, when I had it, I was bored. I diamond painted for, like, I had a hard time sleeping too. So I pretty much diamond painted from dusk till dawn. Diamond painted, crafted, because like I wasn't sleepy or tired or congested or sick like I was the other couple of times that I had it. I'm like, oh, this again. Because I think it was like I said, I had 4 times. 2 times I was really, really sick with it. 2 times I was like, your test is screwed up, I can't have COVID. No, the last time that I had it was one of the times that I was really sick. But the time before that, I wasn't. But like I said, I sat there and I actually got ready for a craft show. The time before this that I was, like, the time before that I was sick with COVID, and it wasn't that bad yet. I had the last time that I was sick and I had COVID, I think it was this year after Thanksgiving. Prior to that, I had gotten it in September, right after, I think it was September, I want to say. Was it September? It might have been it was August, I think August or September. Wait, it was October. Yeah, October. So this year my COVID infection was like kind of almost back to back. Yeah, it's been determined I can't get the vaccines. Not because of my age. I always tell my doctors because they don't work. The first 2 times that I got COVID, I ended up, it was right after I got vaccinated. I got my full vaccination. I had to have my full vaccination for my job. And I ended up, I think it was like 2 months later after I was fully vaxxed. Sick as a dog. All I wanted to do was sleep. I had honestly thought, because I had mono at one point in time when I was younger, I thought that's what it was, because that's what it felt like. All I wanted to do was sleep. Didn't feel like eating. I wanted to sleep. I was like, just leave me alone, I want to sleep. I kept telling my husband, like, I'm just tired, just let me sleep. And then my boss where I was working came back and said, like, because I wanted to work the next day. And I didn't, like I said, I just thought, I'm tired. I don't know what COVID feels like. Never had it before. And they did our random testing because we were still in pandemic. And when they did my testing, they're like, go, get out of the building. You are sick. You are positive with COVID. And I said, you are crazy. Where in the world would I get COVID? I said, besides potentially here. I said, because like I just go here and I go to work. That's about it. I said, I have what it feels like no life outside of here. So how could I possibly be anywhere else? What do you think? Oh, that's what I need. So I'm like, yay. So that's pretty much why I've decided not work as much, because I'm sick of getting sick with COVID. I mean, I love working in a skilled nursing facility. I just don't love the getting sick. And like every time, it never fails. Every time I get a new vaccine or a new vaccine comes out, a new booster, I'm getting sick. Like the second time I had gotten COVID. Did all my precautions, just like this last time I had it. And it's just crazy, like, all I did was get a shot that I guess it's supposed to prevent it. I don't know. I just take it like the flu shot, like, it's supposed to make it that you don't get it as bad. Well, no, honey, no more vaccines for me. If you can find me a vaccine that tells me that it's not going to be as bad, it's not going to be like the flu, which is another thing. I ended up with the flu. I had the flu. I had strep throat, which I got strep throat from my kid, but I got the flu. And then on top of that, I got COVID from work. Like, are you kidding me? And I was doing what I was supposed to do. We weren't, as far as us aides knew, we had no one in the building with COVID. You know, so we had no mask protocol to use whatsoever. So then, I'm like, are you serious? When it turned out, because I was like, okay, I got strep for my kid. Well, by that night, my throat is swelling up. I'm like, okay, my tonsils are bothering me, because usually when I get strep, I get tonsillitis on top of that. Nope. Went to the local hospital. They're like, we're giving you a COVID test. I said, well, I just had one this morning. It was negative. Our protocol, we have to do that in the flu. I said, they both were negative from what they told me. So then the hospital went and took them again. They looked at my chart. They said, yeah, they were negative this morning. Took them again that evening, and they're like, guess what? You're popping positive for everything. You've got the trifecta. I'm like, well, try fix it. I said, because I just started this job. They're like, nope. We can not give you a doctor's excuse. I said, can I accidentally lose the doctor's excuse? Unfortunately, here was my thing with that. The doctor that had looked at me in the ER was, I guess he had his rounds or something that night. Happened to be one of our doctors at the nursing facility that I just started at. He's like, no, he says, and if you show up at work with no doctor's excuse, he's like, I will tell your DON. He's like, and I will make sure that they go in, the place that I just recently quit working, they're big on policy of, like, infectious control, and so they're like, no, you're not spreading. I'm like, I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, you're telling me I can't go back to work for like 5 to 7 days. Like, I can't miss that much money. I said, I said, they got a points program. I said, I'm gonna lose my job. I was like, gotta do it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, so mad. So for that, they didn't end up giving me like any kind of written verbal warning or anything. No, they waited when I started having car problems. They gave me warnings about my absenteeism. I'm like, well, 5 of those should not have counted. I said, even though I was in my probationary period, they shouldn't have counted towards anything. And then me, like a hothead, I got mad, and I'm like, I didn't have COVID before I came in here. Like, I got COVID from this building. I was just so mad. And then my director of nursing goes, she says, you know, Heather, she's like, we're still putting you that you can be rehired if your feelings change. I'm like, I don't think my feelings will change. It's like, I'm good. That's just my celestial karmic clue that I need to sit. I need to, just relax, settle down, and do for myself right now. Whether it's, ultimately it's making this business successful, where I can get up to like doing online sales, maybe even have a good how-to craft or whatever YouTube page, maybe, to start doing my, which I am, improving my videos to make things better, and maybe come out with some really cool crafting ideas, and then like promote them and stuff with my business. Never know. Stranger things have happened. And I can put towards the stranger things that have happened. In the 60s, they put a man on the moon, We have cars that run on electric. Just strange things. Oh, Mom, I can't go anywhere. I forgot to, instead of, the kids saying from back in the day, oh, Mom, I forgot to put the gas in the car. Oh, Mom, I forgot to plug it in. Guess we're not going anywhere today. That's just my sense of humor. I have a warped sense of humor. It's not so much like I want to say maleficent, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I don't have a malice type sense of humor. I just think a lot of society and a lot of new things and modern technology are ridiculous. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My old school mentality. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can improve on it, but don't go all George Jetson on me. I used to, like I said, run with the ambulances, and a lot of our, if not most, of our transports and things were out of Pittsburgh. And sometimes they'd ask us to post up somewhere because I knew somebody was coming out of the hospital, but they needed somebody in that area so they could, dispatch that call. And this one place that we would post, it was like on the south side of the city. And I'm not sure what exactly, I know it was, we were on the south side of the city towards, dang it, I can't think what the name of it is, but we were posted up in this, near this park in Hazelwood. I think it was, we would post there in this one parking lot, and we were able to watch, now I don't know if it was from a technology center, if it was from a school down in the area. I know we were posted up near what they call and I don't even know if it's there anymore, but because that was 10 plus years ago. There was a bridge called the Hot Metal Bridge. Like I said, it may or may not still be there, but we used to post up there, and we would watch these. And I swear somebody tells me they actually use them now. These Ubers, and the Ubers were not controlled by anything. They were just remote. They were remote cars, and that was, I want to say before Uber was popular. Yeah, you had your car, they were still using taxis a lot, and taxi or cab or something like that, but would go and do their technological test rides in one of these parking lots. And I'd sit there and I'd watch them. We'd sit there and watch them. I'm like, Now, my partner at the time was a little bit older than me. And, he could, well, I was actually a lot older than me, but he probably could have been my grandfather, like my grandfather's age. When we're sitting there watching them, waiting for our next call, he's humming the Jetsons theme song. And I'm like, really? I'm like, Dave, really? He says, what? He says, pretty soon if they can figure it out. He says, they'll be replacing us with Rosie the Robot. I'm like, well, maybe Dispatch with Rosie the Robot, but I don't know if Rosie could do some of them steps that we have to do. I was like, that was like most of our time on Sundays. We'd just be sitting down on the south side or whatever and watching these robot cars. But, I mean, that's why I say some technology is fine and other technology is just too George Jetson-y for me. But I still, I don't really keep up with my old EMT partners. Like, occasionally I'll see them when they come into the nursing homes that I work, or I'll see them at the hospital or something because they've moved on to be like med techs or something just as non-interesting. But they, I don't know if he's still, I know a few of my partners have passed away, but I'm not sure if he was one of them. I can still, it's just weird, I want to say fond memories, but it's just like something that happened, just hanging around waiting for a car and watching people drive automatic cars, trying to get them to work, and then the fact that some places, I guess, still, and not still, but some places have actually incorporated them into driving, picking you up as little charters. I don't know, I think maybe some of the UPMC hospitals there use them for their, to bus people from the parking lots to the hospital and stuff like that. But it's still, to me, it's weird. To me, it is technology these days, like I said, certain technology, it's just blows me away. And then, I look at this diamond painting that I'm doing, and I'm just like, why can't we just all get back to the simple things, the simple life? Camping simple. I mean, this little fancy little thing here, this little camper, it's kind of neat, but it's still, still simple. You're going out camp. You may have some of the modern technologies, but you don't have Rosie the Robot making you breakfast. Because, like I said, that's weird. Hey, Rosie, fry me up an egg. And the egg comes out in, pill form. Weird. Still weird. No. Too weird for me. Very old. Very, very old. Instead of sleeping in a chair. Guess when I'm done, I'll get up and wake him up and see if he wants to go into the bedroom. Like a good wifey. I think he's off tomorrow, so maybe he'll... Come on, girl face. Nuke. Yay, we're almost done. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't want to torture you this much. I didn't want to torture you at all. Sorry. It's me when I start to babble. Get interrupted while I'm babbling. My rants and rolls sometimes are on slow feed. So far, just an hour. Oh, there's an E right up there. I almost missed. See, that's what I tell you. That's what happens to my gel pens. That is what happens to my pens. My diamond painting pens. Because I'm there looking for a draw to where it's supposed to go, and I drop this sucker. And then they go everywhere. Everywhere. Or right there. I don't think. I thought I had an H somewhere, but yep. I'm gonna just finish up. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging with me for this long journey. Hopefully you'll join me for more videos. Hope you liked this video, even though it's long. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my content, hit the bell button below and it'll update you on any new content I post, updates. And also, like I said, if you like my channel, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I like to leave you with a world full of unpleasantness. Try to keep your life filled with fun and things that make you happy, and sparkle them with a side of whimsy. Till next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, like I said, and hopefully the next one will not be as long. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon. Till next time.